In the early 1900s, Fullerton, California was a small town without a public library, but that all changed thanks to the initiative of its citizens. William Starbuck, a prominent member of the community and owner of the Gem Pharmacy, was one of the first to recognize the need for a library. A single shelf of books in his pharmacy marked the start of Fullerton's library services, but it wasn't enough for Starbuck. He wanted to do more, and he wasn't the only one. Mrs. James Dean, wife of the town's pioneer dentist, had her own vision for Fullerton's citizens. She saw the need for a reading room in the town, one that could provide young men with a wholesome alternative to the town's saloons. Mrs. James Dean's reading room was a hit with the town's citizens, and it quickly became a popular spot for young men to spend their evenings. The reading room, combined with William Starbuck's traveling library, laid the groundwork for Fullerton's first public library, which opened in 1907. As Fullerton continued to grow, the need for a proper library building became more pressing. In 1907, the newly incorporated city made a decision to construct a library with the help of funds from the Carnegie Foundation. The library opened in December of that year with 859 books and circulated 14,690 items in its first year alone. The first book checked out was Polite Society, and the first card holder was none other than Mrs. William Starbuck. Minnie Maxwell was appointed the first librarian, and she worked 51 hours a week for a salary of $50 a month. The library's growth and popularity also led to the addition of a separate children's library to solve space problems. Under the direction of Miss Mary Campbell, more than 42,000 books were circulated to the children of Fullerton. Saturday morning story hour made its debut, and it quickly became a beloved tradition among the children of Fullerton. However, when the WPA library was constructed, the children's library was saved and relocated to Hillcrest Park. By the 1940s, Fullerton had outgrown its old library building, and the Library Board of Trustees applied for federal assistance to build a new, modern library. Noted architect Harry K. Vaughn was hired to design the plans for the new building, which was to be constructed as part of the Works Progress Administration program. Finally, in January of 1942, the new WPA library was dedicated in a 3-day ceremony. The building's red tiled roof and stone walkways reflect the early California architecture style. At the time, the library was considered a pageant of thought, and no one could have imagined that it would eventually be outgrown. In 1980, the building was recognized for its historical significance and was designated a local historical landmark. Today, the building is still in use as the Fullerton Museum Center, located at 301 in Pomona. The Fullerton Public Library's commitment to expanding access to books and knowledge didn't stop with the construction of its beautiful new building. In 1957, the library took to the road with the first bookmobile service in Orange County. The mobile library made stops at local shopping centers and grocery stores, bringing the joy of reading to people in their own communities. The bookmobile was initially focused on the interests of the homemaker, with a collection primarily for adults, but it quickly expanded to serve readers of all ages, offering books and other materials for children and young adults as well. The bookmobile program became a beloved fixture of Fullerton life, and one of its most enduring icons was Barbara Weber. For over 30 years, she served as the unofficial ambassador of the library, bringing books and the love of reading to neighborhoods across the city. Barbara's dedication and enthusiasm inspired generations of readers, and she continued to serve the community until her retirement in 2004. Her legacy lives on, the countless lives she touched and the love of reading she instilled in Fullerton's residents. In the early 1960s, Fullerton was buzzing with excitement as the city prepared to open a brand new library. The Hunt Foods Foundation Library was a gift from the Norton Simon Foundation, and it was designed to be used solely for a public library in Public Park. Master architect William Purr was tasked with designing the building, and he did not disappoint. Situated in a large park-like setting, the library proved especially popular with families and young children. In fact, The library issued 2,500 library cards and loaned 37,000 books in its first 90 days of operation. One of the library's young patrons was 6-year-old Hope Fisher, who was the master of ceremonies on opening day and the recipient of the first library card issued by the new library. Branch librarian Clara May Stevens escorted Hope on a tour of the new facility, and it was clear that this library would become an important part of the Fullerton community. The Hunt Foods Foundation Library was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2019, testament to its enduring importance to the city of Fullerton. As the Fullerton community continued to grow, so did the need for a larger, more modern library, and so plans were made for a new facility to be built adjacent to the recently constructed City Hall on West Commonwealth. Groundbreaking ceremonies were held on April 5, 1972, for the $1.3 million, 50,000 square foot facility, which opened its doors for services on June 25, 1973. The new Fullerton Public Library was a state-of-the-art facility, offering over 250,000 items for checkout and becoming the first public library in Orange County to barcode books and library cards, as well as to computerize the circulation of books. Over time, the library continued to grow and evolve to meet the needs of the community. The children's room received an additional 2,000 square feet, and the front entrance and checkout desk were remodeled to better serve library patrons. Today, the library still stands at 353 West Commonwealth, serving the Fullerton community with a wealth of resources and opportunities for learning and growth.